Which I think goes right into the next question that we had, which is all about the Eagles offense, right? I mean, like, this is from Mr. H. A lot of talk about how the Eagles are changing schemes to help develop Hurts. I know a lot of people are talking about that right now with Sean Mannion, their offensive coordinator. What ways can they pivot depending on how that goes? So I know that you've studied and you've seen a lot of Sean Mannion's offense, so I'll let you kind of spearhead this question because I know you got a lot more expertise in that area.
So I've spent all summer studying this because Eagles fans, I mean, they're excited, but they're also nervous, as you've heard.
Right.
And this is going to be a pretty drastic departure from what they're used to, right? It wasn't that long ago, just a couple years ago, when their total play count for the season in terms of under center play action was 5. Last year, the Rams did it 217 times. So they're entering an entire new world here. And so if we look at, okay, what are Sean Mannion's influences? What can we anticipate this is going to look like? You know, obviously played under Sean McVay with the Rams while he was also kind of rewiring Jared Goff at the time.
Right.
He was Jared Goff's backup. Goff came out of the air raid. They called it the bear raid at Cal. So he was learning how to do under center play action. And now Goff does it second only to like Stafford, basically, in the entire league, like especially with Ben Johnson, they did it all the time. And so he kind of got some of McVay's philosophy from playing under McVay in terms of the importance of under center play action. But really his main influences are going to be from the Gary Kubiak side of the Shanahan-Kubiak tree, which McVay is kind of an offshoot of. There's like a little mix of John Gruden in there, but it's a topic for another day. But if you're looking at,
all part of the all-star Tampa Bay Buccaneers the
NFL runs through Tampa Bay, Florida.
I've often said this.
But if you're looking at where he went to after McVay, he went to Minnesota, right? Gary Kubiak was obviously involved in Minnesota there, assistant head coach. Kevin Stefanski was the offensive coordinator, worked with Gary there, and then left and then came back to Minnesota, where his OC was Clint Kubiak, Gary's son, now head coach of the Raiders. And then he went from there, ended up coaching under Matt LaFleur, who, by the way, former Gary Kubiak assistant with the Texans in the late 2000s. That was when Kyle Shanahan was the OC. Mike McDaniel was there. So you could see how this whole cabal formed around Tampa Bay and Houston in the 2000s. And so the Gary Kubiak side is really his main influence, which back then, in the late 2000s, it looked something like this, right? This is Texans tape. We're using it here on NFL Pro. Simply because we can, why not? And it looked like this, right? It's naked bootlegs off a wide zone action. You've got Andre Johnson running down the field. It's actually a pretty well-covered play, but when you have Andre Johnson, who's 230 pounds and runs high 4.3, low 4.4, you're going to throw it anyway, and he's probably going to come down with it. One of the byproducts of this style is that it's going to cut the field in half. Like, you're really only working half the field. You have limited receivers down the field, so it better work, which is why you kind of need an Andre Johnson.
Caught! And that's a gain of 52.
Then you get to Sean Mannion as a player under Clint Kubiak, Gary's son. Clint and especially Matt LaFleur really believed in kind of varying up the types of actions in their offense. So it wasn't just wide zone that led to a boot. You have stuff like this where, okay, we're running a counter action, and the pull key from the guard is going to move the linebackers to one direction. And we're going to have the angle of the back, the angle of departure of the back, keep those linebackers flowing in that direction. This tight end's looking like he's advancing up to the Mike linebacker. It just looks like a counter run 10 times out of 10. And then he boots off of it. The tight end slips through. It's 24 yards on a deep cross, easy peasy. But again, the field is cut in half. This is one of the limitations here. So if this like deep post or deep cross, if that comes open for a touchdown, but you're booting the other way, you can't really make that throw all the way back across the field unless you have like a Josh Allen arm. Like, you have no shot. And what we've seen McVay with the Rams and LaFleur do a lot, which again, Mannion was just coaching under LaFleur, is they believe in play action off of man blocking concepts, like just vertical drops that keeps you in the pocket and able to access every blade of grass. We are not cutting the field in half. And if we look at this touchdown to Christian Watson, this was in 2024. Mannion was an assistant there under LaFleur.
Love looking deep on first down. He's got a man out there. Wide open Watson for a Packer touchdown.
Look at how every single receiver is available to Jordan Love here. He can hit this deep dig. He can hit either check down in the flat. If this guy wants to pivot, he can go to the flat. Like, he can hit anybody here. But again, because he's not booting and his feet are set, if he sees this alert post to Watson open, he can just hit it, and he does for a touchdown. So that's really what we're seeing evolve here in the play action game. It's not just wide zone and boots off wide zone and cutting the field in half. It's no, we are having the quarterback do a hard play action fake and be in the pocket so we can work the entire field. And that's what I think is going to be interesting to watch with Jalen Hurts as the season goes on. I think they're going to start off doing the boot game, the easy stuff that just manufactures completions, cuts the field in half. Right. As the year goes on, we're going to see them do full field stuff off play action, and that's the true test, because the best offenses in the Shanahan, Kubiak, cinematic universe are the ones that access every blade of grass. We'll see if they can get there.
Jalen's been awesome. I really think he can do anything we ask of him. He's accurate. He's a great athlete.
Yeah, no, I'm fascinated to see Jalen Hurts' progression throughout the season, because I agree with you. I think that there's gonna be a lot of takes on the Eagles offense early on, just because there always is. Everybody's very excited for the new football season, especially when you have changes at coordinator and quarterback and things like that. But I do agree with you, like, This is going to be an offense that's supposed to evolve, and ideally, they would like for it to evolve to the end of the year, but sometimes it takes an evolution, multiple years. Maybe it's something that, like, okay, now it takes a little bit of offseason. So we'll see how quickly Hurts and Mannion are really in sync and can really line it up here. Obviously, not having A.J. Brown on the team either is going to totally change their philosophy of how they want to push the ball down the field, how they want to emphasize it, all that kinds of stuff. But, I think that's going to be a fascinating development there to see what Hurts is like in the early weeks, and then how much maybe they can expand the buffet, if you. I couldn't even say like a plate, because it feels like what Mannion is doing is it's going to be multiple plates, and we've all been there before. You go to a buffet, it's not just one plate, right? You didn't pay for that. You paid for multiple
3 sides
plates.
minimum, baby.
Correct.
I'm gonna throw the go ball this time. We gotta take what they give us.